Hello, fight fans. Everybody, please hit that like button or I'll kick you in the stomach. Make sure and hit that subscribe button if you like MMA, boxing, things of the violent sport variety. That's kind of what we do here. We have a great community. Let's talk about the fights we have today, though, here for Super Bowl Saturday. This is a spectacular card. There are standouts. There are contenders. I mean, this has got everything. This is a borderline pay-per-view event, and it's on ESPN Plus. That $5 a month service. I believe it just went up to $5.99. Still a steal of a deal for how many events they have on there. Here are all the odds. To the right of me here, as you can see, for the main card, 6 fights. And let's go through these fights, where each fighter stands right now. And I'm going to give you my pick as to who I think will win. I'm a little more sure about some of these picks than others, but let's do it. All right, guys. First fight of the main card, Diego Ferreira versus Beneil Dariush. This is a firefight. I mean, this could be a main event on a free card, definitely a co-main event, but somehow it's all the way down to the 6th spot. And man, Diego Ferreira, 17-2, gets on a 6-fight win streak, defeated Anthony Pettis, former champion, of course, in his last bout. He has not lost since he fought Dustin Poirier in 2015. He's 17-2 overall. He's got 10 finishes. He's exciting. He is a contender. And he is facing a equally formidable opponent today, as you can see in the odds, almost even. Ferreira minus 105, Beneil Dariush minus 120. What do those odds mean? That just means the casino takes more of your money for you to get $100, no matter which fighter you bet on. That's their little advantage. You're going to have to put down $105 on Ferreira to make $100. You're going to have to put down $120 on Dariush to win $100. Dariush, 19-4, 13 finishes himself. He's on a 5-fight win streak. His last loss was to Alexandre Hernandez in 2018. Wide variety of skills. Top contender. You know, he's been up towards the topper echelon, gotten knocked down a little bit, but I mean, this guy, there's really nobody that's going to dominate him unless it's, you know, one of those maybe top 3 or the champ that can come in and have a dominant performance against him. But Beneil Dariush, I mean, he could be just about anybody on any given night. Both these guys have the hot hand. Diego Ferreira, I believe, really has a hot hand, though he has not lost in 6 years. I think he's going to be a little faster, a little more explosive tonight. This fight could really go either way, but if I have to pick a winner, I'm going to go with the slight underdog in Diego Ferreira, either a unanimous decision or, probably maybe a late stoppage. Next fight in, Cody Staman versus Askar. So, Askar is a last-minute replacement. That's probably part of the reason that the odds are so far out there. 5-1 for Cody Staman. If you're looking for a bet out there, I didn't put a bet on this one, but I certainly don't put it out of the realm of possibilities that Askar could pull off an upset here and get you over 3.5 times your money. I wouldn't pick him straight up, but not the worst bet I think that you could make. Cody Staman, though, 19-3. He has only 2-2-1 in his last 5, but those 2 losses are to 2 of the top contenders in the weight class, Aljamain Sterling and Jimmy Rivera. He fights the best, he competes with the best, and he's beaten some of the best. Askar 11-1, 6 finishes in his career. He's just 1-1 in the last year. Pretty new to the UFC. He was KO'd in 30 seconds 2 fights ago against Sayajokub Kakoramanov. I think I got that last name close there. That's a tough one. I expect Cody, though, to come in here, and I expect him to, have a pretty dominant performance against Askar. I think maybe he finishes him late. But, don't count Askar off. I think this will be a competitive fight, at least for the first couple of rounds. And it's too bad Askar didn't have a full training camp, or maybe this is even, a little bit of a closer fight. This next fight, I've been talking about this all week. I am so excited about this fight. And I'm very excited about this gentleman, just coming into the UFC, Manel Kape. Former Ryzen world champion. He's on a 3-fight finish streak. He defeated Kai Asakura over there in Ryzen to win the Ryzen Bantamweight Championship. Kai Asakura had taken that belt from Kyoji Horiguchi, who, of course, is one of the best pound-for-pound bantamweights in the world. Held the Bellator and Ryzen belts simultaneously. Then put that belt to the side, put the Bellator belt to the side after losing the Ryzen belt when he went into surgery, came back recently and defeated Kai Asakura. That's neither here nor there, though. Manel Kape, he is young, he is explosive, he is exciting. Whether he will be champion or not, I don't know if it's the skill set, but you're never going to be bored watching one of his fights. Sometimes some of our favorite fighters to watch are not the current champion, or maybe, never had a championship. Alexandre Pantoja, a slight favorite, minus 122. He's 22-5, 16 finishes in his career. He has lost 2 of the last 3, but one of them was to current champion Davison Figueiredo. The other one was to Askar Askarov. So only fights the top contenders. Manel Kape, he is a bit of a question mark in this one, but I just feel like he's got so much skill. I think he's going to rise to the occasion. I really think he's going to surprise a lot of people. And I think that he can knock out Alexandre Pantoja, and he might do it early. This kid's just got so much upside. It's unbelievable, in my opinion. Next fight up, you got 2 guys that is a good chance that they will not be in the UFC if they lose this fight. Michael Johnson comes in, pretty good favorite, minus 225 against Clay Guida. That's despite losing 6 of his last 8 fights. So that tells you how far Clay Guida has slid. Michael Johnson, he's always fighting some of the top guys, though. 19-16 over his career with 8 finishes. One of those losses was to Khabib Nurmagomedov. He just fights a lot of tough guys. Just at 34 years old, it seems like he's been fighting much longer, though. He's got knockout power. He's got good boxing. When he is on, he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist that can put up a challenge against anybody. And Clay Guida, the last time he was on was a long, long time ago. He's now 39 years old, well past his prime. 35-20 for his career with 20 finishes. Definitely a living legend. Been in some wars, but he is off back-to-back losses. Got finished by Bobby Green and Jim Miller. Both guys that have also been around for a while. But, Guida is just... he's really, I think, probably should have retired a couple of years ago. I think Michael Johnson gets this, and I think he gets a much-needed win, and I believe it'll be a knockout. I'm going to take Michael Johnson by second-round knockout. This next fight, I am very surprised in a way by the odds. Not that I would pick Frankie to win this, but Cory Sandhagen, a minus 400. This has got to be the biggest underdog that Frankie Edgar has ever came into a fight as, a plus 300. So if you think Frankie's going to pull this off, you can get 300 back for every 100 you put on him. Cory Sandhagen, 13-2, 8 finishes. He's won 8 of his last 9. Only loss in that time was to Aljamain Sterling, who will be fighting next for the belt, and I think has a really good chance of becoming the next bantamweight champion. He just has a very slick style. He's younger. He's got great boxing, but he's also very durable, very well-rounded. And, he is no stranger to getting in the kind of wars that Frankie Edgar is probably going to try to put him into. Frankie Edgar, several times champion, several times title contender. Seems like he's always 1 or 2 wins away from getting a title shot. 24-8 in his career with 11 finishes. That's actually a really impressive record, though, for, the opposition he's faced over his career and the amount of close decisions he's been a part of. Both, came out on the right side or the wrong side. He has lost 3 of his last 5, but keep in mind that is to Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie, Max Holloway, who I believe will be the featherweight champion again this year and is the greatest featherweight champion of all time, and Brian Ortega, a guy that will be challenging, of course, for the championship and could be wearing that around his waist here very soon. How would Edgar get this done? I think he would get it done with wrestling. I think he's got a much better chance than a lot of people think, because, he can do everything. And it's not like Cory Sandhagen. The one thing that he comes into is he's not your one-punch knockout guy. He's not an absolute destroyer. He's just a very good, balanced fighter. And Frankie Edgar, very similar. Maybe he's lost a little step at 39 years old, but he's a pretty nimble 39. I do think Sandhagen wins a tough war here. I think he most likely doesn't finish Edgar, even though Edgar has not been as durable as he was in the past. I think it's going to be a tough fight for both these guys. I think Sandhagen will come out with it, though, by unanimous decision. But I think Edgar is going to get his spots in there. And that takes us to the main event, guys. Odds are pretty close for this heavyweight main event. Alistair Overeem versus Alexandre Volkov. These guys have 105 mixed martial arts fights between them. That's a lot of time fighting. First, let's go over Overeem. Former K1 champion, former Dream champion, Strikeforce Grand Prix champion, and making another run at the title at 40 years old. And it's not out of the realm of possibilities that this guy steps into a title shot in the next year, especially with an impressive victory tonight. 47-18 over his career. I mean, he once fought Chuck Liddell at light heavyweight. 42 finishes. He has been finished a lot. That has been talked about a lot. I believe he's been knocked out 11 times. I think it's easy to forget how often the Demolition Man finishes his opponent, though. Out of 47 wins, only 5 guys have gone the distance. That's pretty amazing. He's won 4 out of 5 at heavyweight, where, of course, one strike can end your night. And I thought that he should have gotten the victory over Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He was winning that fight. Rozenstruik hit him with that shot that cut his lip. They finished it with, they stopped the fight with just 15 seconds left in the fight. I thought Overeem could have easily finished those last 15 seconds, which means he would be on a 5-fight winning streak. And maybe he would have ended up facing Ngannou. Again, I don't know. He's already lost once to him, though. Let's go down to Volkov, though. 8 years as junior, 32 years old, has a lot of experience himself, though. 40 wins, 32-8. He has 24 finishes. He's won 2 of his last 3. Only loss was to Curtis Blades. That's a common opponent between the two. They both have a loss to Blades. He's coming off an impressive finish over Walt the Big Deal Harris. And Volkov, he's a durable dude. He was beating Derek Lewis until just seconds left in the fight. I don't think he'll make that mistake again. But I do believe Overeem has a larger skill set. I think that he has a lot of different ways that he can beat Volkov. Now, Overeem has that questionable chin. Like I said, he's gotten it turned off 11 times, I believe he's been knocked out. Maybe 12 with the Rozenstruik. That's a lot of times to be knocked out. But I think he is very focused on this current title run. I think he's going to use his wrestling. I think he's going to use his striking. I think he's really going to mix it up. And I have Alistair Overeem wearing Volkov down and finishing him late in the fight, maybe late in the 4th or 5th round. So let me know what you guys think, though. We're going to start the live reaction today at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hit this entire main card of 6 fights. We're not going to do the prelims. I don't know how many prelims we'll do for a while for 2 reasons. It seems that our streams get cut off somewhere around the main event when we go too long. So that's not good for business, obviously. And then another one, I just feel like I can bring a steadier energy and bring my energy through more and give you guys a better show when we keep it around 3 hours. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these fights, though. Do you agree? Do you disagree with my picks? I do hope to see you guys tonight. And don't forget, we'll also be doing the Super Bowl tomorrow as Tom Brady takes on Patrick Mahomes in the biggest football game of the year. Guys, as always, I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses later.